Opportunity zone investments have been a growing field since 2017, when legislation was passed allowing certain areas in the U.S. to be designated opportunity zones for the purpose of specialized investing. The funds set up for these designated zones are a way that investors can advocate for stimulating development in economically distressed communities. While it still remains to be seen whether the investments ultimately succeed in lifting struggling neighborhoods, opportunity zones are getting traction among investment funds specializing in the field. We spoke with the Chief Impact Officer at Elevaz Shared Values Opportunity Fund to discuss the impact of these investments in local communities. You have placed a major emphasis on the importance of opportunity zone investments. Talk about your first one in Newark.
Yes, the Newark Arts Commons, of course, is a very fascinating location. It's the original St. Michael's Hospital building. We're working with our partners. We're working with the Community Financial Development Institution, New Jersey Community Capital. They have an arm, Community Asset Preservation Corporation. They're working on this project with other partners. It'll create affordable housing. It'll create a permanent space for an arts institution in Newark that needed a home. It'll offer spaces for artists to work. It's going to kind of strengthen that whole neighborhood, that whole community. It's going to make it possible, again, for people to use their skills and their talents in a way that'll strengthen what they're doing and hopefully increase their opportunities themselves, but also the community is a larger piece. We're very excited about it because many people in New Jersey, my wife included, was born at St. Michael's Hospital. So it's nice to see that original building going back to being used now into the 21st century in a way that's going to be continue what it did then and continue to build a community around it.
Social impact and wealth accumulation, not usually used in the same sentence.
The critical piece was that this was an effort by Senator Booker and Senator Scott from South Carolina when they introduced it to look at how do we get investment back into these communities. And they looked at it and said, there's a significant amount of capital gains out there. And if we could incentivize them by deferring those, the payment of taxes on it or potentially getting all of those taxes removed over time, that's an opportunity to say, let's take that money and let's put it back into those communities that are specified in being needed for those resources. Let's put it back in and invest it in housing and job creation. Let's put it back into a way that it's going to work not just for those investors, but for others. We're not simply going in and looking at building luxury housing. We're looking at building housing that works for the community. We're looking at jobs that are going to be there for people in the communities, not just looking at how do we make as much money as we can.
Richard, we're going to leave it there. Thank you for your input. We appreciate you joining us today.
No problem. Thank you very much.
That was Richard Brown, Chief Impact Officer at Elevaz Shared Values Opportunity Fund.